Assalamualaikum dear students. In this short video, I will just talk about the barriers in speaking because most of the students they are facing the problem in speaking. So we will try to understand why the people are facing such problems, or we will try to trace out what type of barriers that most of the students they have and how we can remove this. So let's start with this. So first of all, we'll talk about the barriers in speaking. The first one I just want to mention here, I think it is more critical, and most of the students they are facing this barrier, and that is not any external barrier, but actually it is internal barrier. How I would say like this is the fear of speaking. I hope when I'm talking about the fear of speaking, so you can understand most of the students they are facing like we cannot speak, or they don't want to speak actually, just because might be this is in their mind like we may speak wrong, and because of this they will never start it, right? So this is the first barrier. Let's talk about all of the barriers, and then we will talk about one by one how we can remove this barrier, and we'll try to dig out the actual problem, the actual issue that mostly students are facing. The second most critical issue that used to prevail in students, and that is lack of environment. Lack of environment. And what do you mean by this lack of environment? It's very simple. Like we are living in a country where we have our own language, that is Urdu, and mostly students they are just speaking that language, and they are good in that with the passage of time. But unfortunately, they don't have this environment. So because of that, they never try to speak, and they feel odd when they're speaking this language to the people who are not speaking that same language. So that's why this is another factor which is contributing as a barrier in speaking. So the third most important thing is that we should try to understand, and that is, I would say, weak grammar. And I don't know, most of the students they start learning grammar from very early stage, like in their primary classes, in middle classes, in higher classes. But in spite of all that, they are unable to learn the grammar in a proper way, and it's a barrier. I will try to mention here like why they're not able to learn this grammar. In spite of that, they start learning from the very early classes. So we will talk about this, how we can get out of this all. And the fourth important factor here as a barrier in speaking, I would consider that is lack of active listening. And when you're not able to understand actively what other person is saying, whether that is in news or somewhere else, so definitely you will not be able to speak on that. You will not be able to understand the actual pronunciation, because you can only pronounce when you will listen somebody pronouncing that specific word. So these are the four barriers, which are you can say creating problem for students not to speak. So let's talk about one by one how we can get out of this. Fear of speaking, that's very simple, guys. And we can come out of this The only solution for this is speak, speak, and speak. Whatever you can speak, you should try to. That's the only way. You can speak in a class, you can speak with your friends, whether you're speaking right or wrong, but remember it's a skill. At the very first stage you will not be able to speak properly. So don't worry about this. You are in a learning phase. I always give an example like if you are going to start driving, so it's not possible for you to drive correctly at the very first day. It's not possible. So try to understand its mechanics. And the second important thing is lack of environment. So you should have those friends, partners, whether they are national or international. You should try to create an environment in your surrounding, and the class is the best platform where you have that environment, where you can talk to your friends in that language, right? Where you can get some corrections, where you can just speak. And sometimes when you start speaking, with the passage of time, you will also realize like somewhere you have be able to speak, and you can be on auto correction as well. So this is I always recommend class or group or your partner or applications. Now number of applications or AI tools are there where you can create an environment for yourself. With grammar, definitely you need to learn, and not in a way that you have learned in your previous classes. Try to apply grammar, and how you can apply. I will try to help you people to understand. Like there are a number of exercises, whatever you will learn, so you can apply that. That's very simple. And application is very much important. You should try to attempt some worksheets, try to rehearsal, try to recap. Once you will be able to work again and again on some exercises, you will be able to learn it. Just learning is not, you can say, that's not only the way to get grip on grammar. The last one is active listening. Exactly, this is the point where most of the people they're not able to speak. For example, if you are watching television or any movie or anything, try to listen. Try to listen each word. What is the person saying? So what the person is saying, like in a way, exactly the pronunciation. Try to pronounce in a very similar way. Try to copy. Try to mock. So try to understand, to interpret, to rephrase. So all of these things are important in order to cover up this. So definitely active listening. This is only possible. Focus. Focus on listening. And definitely when you focus on listening, so you will understand. And once you will understand, so definitely you can copy, you can mock. I always say mock it. Try to mock whatever you have listened. So these are some barriers, and this is how you can get out of all of these barriers with the passage of time. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. See you in next class. Goodbye. Take care.